Lovely.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Oh, hello, Pat. How you doing?
Yes.
So we're talking
We,
about life before core, life at core, and life after core.
I think that's the structure for our conversation. Do we need like let's assume though that there's someone watching who has no idea who we are. So do we
Oh,
need to
that's true.
have a little
A
like
little
what
intro.
what do you tell to someone who has no idea who you are and is now watching some old people on a screen and going, why do I care?
True. Do you want to go first? No.
Yeah, sure. My name is Pat. I'm 43 years old. And I reckon I've devoted 23 of those years to comics or graphic storytelling in some way. I've made two graphic novels. I've had my heart broken. I've learned how to teach comics, and now I teach drawing and storytelling to young animators at a university. Now your turn. Go.
Awesome. Nice one. My name's Jess. Jess Harwood. I am, God, 37, I think. I've always been a drawer, but I didn't really get into comics until the pandemic when I had lots of time. And I kind of got in through my activist climate campaigny work. So I feel like I completely missed the comic zine kind of world, which is why I got so excited when I saw Core or heard about Core Comic Art Workshop because I thought, oh, great, I can make friends. And yeah, now I've just quit my job in like media and I am now a full-time cartoonist, seeing where that goes.
So do you think that we're going to talk about our life before the comic art workshop, but do you think that
Yeah.
that you're I think we were perhaps both late arrivals into the
Mm,
comics.
yes. I
And
feel like
so
a late rival, definitely.
and always have a sense of being like this is how I feel. I feel like I don't quite fit most of the time.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
This is our imposter syndrome, I guess, maybe.
Mm. The
Yeah.
world the world
Why
I
do you,
grew up in. Oh, you
yeah.
go. You go.
Oh no, I wanted to ask, why do you feel like you don't fit? Because when I came to core, I was like, Pat Grant is like, he is
Mm.
comics man, like, to me.
Mm.
And so it's interesting to hear that you feel you don't fit.
Well, I I grew up in like a small coastal town, and there wasn't like there wasn't comics to read.
Mm,
There weren't comics in the library, and I wasn't part of a cultural sphere that where you go to the library.
mm,
There wasn't like I knew that nerd culture was something that I was interested in, but I didn't have access to it. So and I read all the comics that I could get my hands on, but it wasn't community or practice or a
mm,
pathway or anything like that. Um, and so like I kind of focused on the other things that I love, which is like sports, like being outside. And
mm.
that's one of the reasons I generally feel like I don't fit in is because really like I just want to go outside. And I actually don't like to draw. Like I don't if somebody said, "Can you have like you've got 6 hours of free time?" There's no way I would go draw, and there's no
Yeah.
way I would read comics. So
Yeah, that's so
in that
interesting.
way that
Yeah.
I actually don't have the passion that others have.
Mm,
Um but then like you, I kind of studied creative writing, and I've also been an activist to a small degree my entire life, and
mm,
and so I kind of came to comics through making sort of activist graphics and stuff,
mm,
and but also trying to do literary work in
mm.
um and then, I must have been about age 24 or 23 or 24 when I was like, no, I'm actually going to be the nerd that I
Yeah.
could have been when I was a teenager and just like, like mainline everything comics, meet everyone I know who was interested in comics, and there was this sort of probably 7 or 8 year period where like that was my project, just to
Yeah.
like be part of this world.
Yeah.
And so are there any similarities for your story?
Yeah, I really relate to that a lot actually. I think like autobio comics is a really new concept to me because when I grew up, like um my folks aren't super artistic, but like comics to me or cartoons to me meant political cartoons because that's what my parents would see. And I went and I was a lawyer, or like I studied law, and I was not doing anything artistic. And same with you as a kid, like I like to be outside, but I like to draw, but not comics. I just liked drawing. So when I feel like really new to this whole comics world, really, because when I kind of entered it in maybe 5 years ago, I thought it was all like, well, in my mind, a comic was a political comic or like a activist comic, and then I realized, wow, there's all these people doing these amazing other things,
Mm,
and I didn't, and then I felt like that was the bulk of everyone in the comics world in Australia that I met. And then I was like, oh, I don't know whether I have like I came like with you, same as you, in through kind of activist comics maybe. And so I didn't feel like I hadn't been to comics, zine fairs and things like that. And so I felt a bit like, oh, maybe I'm a bit different to everyone else here.
mm.
So yeah, I think kind of same in a way, but then I think everyone is like that. Like everyone feels they've come to it in a particular way.
Yeah,
And
there's no sense of entering a scene or a
yeah,
community without this sense of like, oh, everyone's cool and they all know.
yeah, that's right.
And in a bunch of ways, I believe, um, because I watch a lot of young animators, like who are like
Yeah.
inside people. They spend all their time just
Mm,
like soaking all up comics and web comics and games,
mm,
and it's really, I think it can be really refreshing when people enter with just completely different values and a fresh sort of
mm.
vision on what the art form can do and what it can be. And so yeah,
Yeah.
it's
That's
like
what I really. Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
No, you go.
No, I was like, that was the one of the best things. I don't know if we're transitioning to talk about core now, but that was one of the best things of going to core for me was realizing just the huge diversity of people involved in comics and how everyone has this unique path in.
Mm,
And and then, I think I went to core feeling like I'm an outsider and I'm coming into this group. But then I did kind of realize while I was there that everyone is so unique in their practice that maybe we're all kind of outsiders, that we just like
mm.
this art form works for us, and so we all have that in common, but we're also different when we like get together, different practices. It's yeah. Yeah. That's been really good for me, I think, from core. Yeah.
What do you think you've brought? What do you think like is your like gift to comics? Like, what do you what insights and worldview and like sensibilities are you bringing that you think no one else has
Oh my
had
gosh.
yet?
I absolutely don't know. But I think I did come from a very like because I was full-time campaigner back then.
Yeah.
And so I think the way I approached comics was very like, what's the purpose of this comic? Is it going to make someone write a submission or know about this coal mine or do this thing? Does it have to be created in the next 12 hours and it needs to get out there today because that thing's happening tomorrow? And like I had more of it was very functional. It wasn't really like, let's make something that's nice and I don't know, interesting necessarily. It's like, quick, got to get this communication out. Like that was my approach. And I think that was,
Urgency.
yeah,
Urgency is like
urgency.
a massive thing that a lot of us don't have.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
anything with any urgency. It's got to
That's
be
good.
12
That's really good
years
for
or
you.
something. I mean, urgency is a hard thing to carry into a graphic novel project, I'll
Oh,
tell
totally. Like, I don't think I could do that.
you.
Unless there was some deadline and they were going to approve a coal mine. Maybe that's the way that I could possibly get into one. But yeah,
I,
I don't know.
I always,
How
I
about
always
yourself?
thought, oh, I always thought with politics stuff, whatever political work you do now, it's not for what's
Mm,
happening now, it's for the next version of that, like,
yes. Yeah,
and
that's so true.
if you're lucky,
Yeah.
the 7 years it takes for you to do the thing
Yeah.
might time perfectly with the next emergence of this theme or whatever. Um,
Yes.
yeah.
That is so true. That's like, there's not that many graphic novels on climate change, I think, really, given how big an issue it
Mm,
is. And I
mm,
think that's like, because my project I took to core was on climate change.
mm.
And that was one of the things I realized was like, it takes that long to make. Is this still going to be relevant in that?
Yeah,
Like,
especially with the tech changing as well. But
that's right.
here's a little thing. I went past the Thirroul bookstore, regional
Yeah.
bookstore, and they had Joe Sacco's Palestine in the window.
Whoa.
And I was
Amazing.
just thinking, fuck, like imagine that artist
Yeah.
doing all that labor in the 80s and 90s, early
Yeah.
90s, and going, well, I mean, come on. Like,
Yeah. That's true.
is this going to be relevant in 10 years from
Yeah.
now? And actually,
That's
yeah.
so
So,
true.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And it's a really interesting, like his work's such an amazing snapshot into the history as well now.
Yeah, that the Footnotes in Gaza is like
Mm,
is still the book that if anyone asks about like how do I work out what's the Middle East,
mm,
it's like that
that
that's
book.
that book.
Yes. That is so true.
So
You should talk
did
about
all
your coming to core. Like why you create.
okay, yeah, well actually it's sort of relevant to this idea of us being kind of like imposters in the nerd world or the comics world or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I feel like because I came from like my training is in creative writing and cultural studies,
Mm,
um and so I brought in all of these sensibilities from those practices, and most of the artists I knew were writers,
mm,
and they liked my comics, but they also didn't have very good like comics sensibilities.
mm,
So they gave me the encouragement I wouldn't have got actually from the
mm,
comics world at those early stages. But
mm,
creative writing has this tradition of workshopping
mm,
where you create a text in many rounds, drafts, and then
mm,
you share your manuscripts with your peers, um, and you sit and talk about it.
mm,
And I love this tradition, and then I sort of entered the comics world, and because of my sensibilities, I understood it as a literary art form first, and
mm,
as a visual art form, like second.
mm,
Not how most people like arrive at comics. Of most,
mm,
and so I noticed that all of these people knew how to. They were coming from fine art school or printmaking or illustration or filmmaking,
mm,
and I was like, these people have really much better visual skills than me, but
mm,
but everyone's like, it felt like the community was a bit undercooked in its capacity to tell good stories.
mm,
And at the time, it was this ascendant moment for the graphic novel. Like it was like early 2000s. Everyone in publishing was talking about, we want graphic novels. Where are the Australian graphic novels? Like,
mm.
we'll publish the graphic novels. And I was like, well, actually, this community doesn't know how to do that. We
Yeah.
need to do these beautiful short form works that are really
Mm,
like arty and illustrative and weird. Um,
mm,
but like structuring a big work, managing a big project, that's not, I don't see anyone doing that. And
yeah.
and so and that's what I wanted to do. Um, and so I did a graphic novel. It was very short. You know, you
Mm.
read it in 15 minutes. But then when I started my second one, I was like, you know, I actually think I'm the person who could maybe help
Yeah.
with this. You know, like, um, and I think that's what you do in a community. You know, like you
Mm.
go, what is the one thing that I can do that
Mm.
that other that could have the most impact. And so
Yeah.
the other person I knew was Liz McFarlane,
Yeah.
who is a also an outsider. So she'd come to comics through creative writing as well, and she was already
Yeah.
teaching with workshopping in the classroom at Melbourne Uni.
Mm.
So I harassed Liz and I said, "What can we do a retreat for comic book artists that is um, that is introducing this tradition of workshopping to graphic novel projects."
Mm. Mm.
And she was like, "Okay," okay, and so we just spent a year and a half organizing the first retreat, just like volunteer basis, and the first one was in my opinion, it was a huge risk for everyone involved. It was like
Okay.
with 14 artists signed up,
Yeah.
and I felt that was a massive risk for everyone because we're going to this
Yeah.
weird place, weird island in the Tasmania,
Yeah.
and no, they didn't know anyone. Everyone was really nervous. I was really nervous. Liz was really nervous, and it turned out that like within 3 days, everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is what we needed. We needed it. We needed
Yeah.
to talk about our
That's so
unfinished
good.
projects."
Yeah.
And so that hunch that I had, I think was correct. And if it
Yeah.
was correct, there wouldn't be a comic art workshop
No,
still running. So yeah, so that's kind of like the genesis of the project. Um,
that's so cool.
and I've been to all of them as a support worker for most of them actually. So I think
Yeah.
you were at Urangi Billy, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So was that the fourth one?
I
So
think so.
Comic Art
Yeah.
Workshop version 4, and that and I was just cooking then. I don't even think I talked to anyone much that trip. I was just cooked
Yeah.
and
I do remember you made an amazing meal. That was really good.
what I'm really proud of is the way I organized the fridge.
Yeah. You
I
really. It was probably utter chaos by the time you got there.
yeah. Um, so that's kind of like I don't want to talk too much about Cook because I've actually said most of all of this stuff. I've been advocating for the organization for 10 years.
Mm.
But what so what was your experience? What did your practice look like in the lead up to your coming to Comic Art Workshop?
It was primarily on social media. It was really for activist purposes, or I don't know, occasionally I had like funny ideas that I just drew and they went okay online. So it was really like social media focused, which I really hate. Like I just hate social media so much, but now it's unfortunately become kind of like this tool of getting your work out there. So it was mainly, yeah, social media. And then I saw Core was an opportunity to like maybe do a bigger project that wasn't social media focused, that was actually more focused on like the stories I kind of wanted to tell.
Mm.
But the project I brought to Core was very like um it came quite a lot from my job at that stage. And I think it wasn't coming from me. I really don't like the like project I brought to Core now.
Oh,
Um
really?
yeah, like I think I've rethought it a lot and I do still want to do something like that, but it'll have a lot more of it'll be like an autobio and climate justice sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be like two.
Instead of a bit more utilitarian nonfiction, which
Yeah,
which that's a hard marriage, isn't it? Like
yeah,
what would we call it? Like a kind of like literature that's there to do a job,
Yes.
But and
Yeah.
comics, because the comics just take so much of the artist, like
Yeah.
those are hard things to combine.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really struck by how many people, well, like there was pretty much all autobio comics, really. And I don't think I was really expecting that. And I didn't actually know that was even a possibility, I think, before I went to core. And then I
Really?
brought my,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like I knew there were like I had come across a few, but I kind of thought people might be telling stories, other stories. And then it kind of made sense to me when I got there. I was like, oh yeah, like this project I've brought. Why wouldn't I put myself in it? Like, of course, everything in here means so much to me. It's like part of an identity. I should
Mm,
put myself in it. So it really like yeah, it took me away from that social media activist, like this has to have a purpose
mm,
for a campaign focus. And it brought me round to more like, actually, what are the stories I actually want to tell? And what bits of me do I want to, like, that's a much deeper place to create from. And it's, I think I couldn't really, I think that's something that would sustain you more for a bigger project like a graphic novel rather than like this is going to help people make submissions to a I don't know
yeah.
whatever the activist thing is. Um,
Yeah, or
yeah.
or even just like this is a container for like a really temporary idea, which is like
Mm,
a lot of like kind of like social change oriented nonfiction like would do that. I was thinking
yeah.
like I'm interested in this critic called Ezra Klein, this
Oh
guy.
yes.
Yeah, and so he's just like written this book called Abundance.
I haven't
Bound
read
up
that
all
yet.
of these ideas. You've read it, yeah. So anyway, I
No, I
don't,
haven't read not yet.
but he's bound up all of these ideas that he's kind of collected about the left's inability to like build it.
Mm,
Um, and you can, and then it comes out, and then 3 weeks later, Australian politicians are just dropping this word. They're just like they're just dropping the word abundance into all
that's
of their,
amazing.
and
Yeah.
that's like like that's really powerful.
Yeah.
But it's a tough thing to do if it's going to take you 7 or 8 years, and
Mm,
you know, um, yeah. I
yeah.
I think comics, if comics as a medium had a desire, it would be to
Mm,
kind of get at our like get at our sort of touchy selves,
mm,
like this,
mm,
this sort of personal embodied
mm.
like perspective.
Yeah.
Hilary Shute, who's like writes a lot about this in this great book called Graphic Women.
Mm,
There's this line where she's like, the reason comics do auto buy so well is because the artist has to touch every
yeah.
square of the page with their body. They have to
Yeah.
like, yeah, and so
Mm,
there's this kind of like the storyteller is drawn towards intimacy a bit more.
mm.
Yeah,
It
and
is. It's a really intimate art form, really. Yeah. I don't
um
know. That's interesting.
and so what how did what how did going to a literary workshop change your the way you work, or your ambitions, or the way.
Mm. Oh, look, I think it was a real reality check for me. I kind of thought a project would be a couple of years. And then people were there, like Sarah was there at that project, and
uh,
she'd been working on hers for at that stage, I don't know what, it was 6 years or something.
it's the great
Um,
Sarah and Gina are to me the great
yes.
core like narratives, the great
Yeah.
like epics
Yeah, they
of
really were.
making comics. Yeah.
So I realized it was like it was not something that you can just bash out in 2 years. It's you've got to have a focus and stick with it. It's like a PhD, really, I guess. It's like, but maybe longer, in fact. Um,
Longer.
yeah. But it was really like just being amongst all those incredible artists was it's really amazing. It's like probably one of the biggest and best experiences I've ever had in my like creative life, I think, because those people I hung out with, they're still friends. It was really wonderful entry into the comics world. I've learnt so much from their practice and, even just little tips on how to use Procreate or whatever, watching Gina draw, I was like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. And, from that kind of like level of minutia to like big picture, how to plan a
Yeah.
graphic novel stuff, it was just being in that intensive environment for 2 weeks was amazing. Um, and yeah, I think there isn't anything else like that, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that I always knew that that core would be like some hardcore stationery nerding, like
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's right.
like like Procreate brushes and like, woo,
Yeah,
like,
that's
like I never get to talk about this stuff.
right. It was so good for that because no one
But
else
what,
wants to talk about that.
but what I didn't realize is how much it would peel back all of those like
Mm,
defenses that we would put up at like a comic convention or a zine fair or a book launch or
mm,
something. It would peel that all away and just go, let's just discard that. And like
yeah,
and so it's that kind of like professional it's like having someone who you have a professional familiarity with, but you're also
mm,
like it's like you've been to war together or you've been to high
yes,
school together or something like that, just
yeah,
that kind of like um yeah, there's a there's a an intensity of the connection with people that comes from just spending 2 weeks. Some
absolutely.
2 weeks,
Yeah,
but
there was
but when
well,
do you have 2 weeks? Yeah.
when you have 2 weeks, two things on that. There was Okay, so there was a lot of that emotional connection. There were a lot of tears, but not like people fighting tears. It was like just pure emotion kind of coming out at people telling their story that they're putting into their work,
Mm.
and other people like everyone cried at least once, I think. But also that 2 weeks period, my partner Matt goes on sailing trips, and apparently day 8 of a 2 week voyage is notorious for being like the day where people just fray a little bit and can't cope. And that entirely happened on this thing. It was like day 8 was just emotionally very hard for everyone, and it was really fascinating. And we came out day 9, like it was fine, but yeah, it was the emotional intensity, I think, makes the experience so much greater than, you know, I guess other retreats you could possibly go on because you are actually genuinely sharing parts of you.
Mm.
Yeah.
I remember Gooch on the first one, Chris Gooch, amazing artist.
Mm.
Like day 3 of the first one, he said, "I'm really worried about this becoming like a love-in." And I
He
was
didn't want
like,
to love
"Yeah, me too." Like it's just going to be this kind of like circular flattery project, or
Yeah.
like. And I think sometimes people like when people hear stories about, oh, there's a lot of emotion at core.
Mm.
It's sort of sounds weirdly culty or like, but I think what it is that somebody says, "Why did you make that decision?"
Mm.
And you go, "Because I want to tell this story this way."
Mm.
Why do
Mm.
you want to tell this story? Because I had this experience in my life and
Yeah.
like and then you're like, "Oh, okay, that's what you're getting at with this story." And then
Yeah.
and then if everyone if you keep kind of backtracking to what people's creative motivations are,
Mm.
especially if it's a long form, big chunk of their life they're devoting to this,
Mm.
you just get there really, really quickly. Like,
Mm.
and this is something that I see in honors year in animation.
Mm.
Someone comes in with this film pitch, and you're like, "Hmm, what? Why? What
Mm.
make that decision?" And then it takes a long time, but they get back to, I'm really interested in this thing that happened to me. But I
Mm.
feel like at core, we just get there fast, like it's like
Yeah.
you're like 30 minutes into a workshop
Yeah.
and somebody's really describing why they want to tell this story, and there's no
Mm.
hiding from that is like
Mm.
that's kind of like emotional work. Yeah.
Mm. That's true. That's entirely what it is. And also because you start, like, often the projects are autobio, you're already kind of halfway there to
Yeah,
being laying
absolutely.
it all bare.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that kind of intimacy that we already sort of spoke of.
Mm,
Yeah. We
yeah.
we have
We have 10 minutes, do we?
10 minutes. So why don't we
Life after call?
yeah, well, can we let's do 10 minutes of 10 minutes and then say goodbye and
Yeah.
then just do another 20 minutes
Yeah.
after a week of reflection. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Or
That sounds good.
okay. Yeah. So
Perfect.
so for me the like life after core is like a really bittersweet um
Mm,
thing. So I experienced like my first what I would call like burnout after the
mm,
first core.
mm,
That lasted for about 2 days. And
mm.
then after the second core, I got a really bad case of burnout that lasted for about 6 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And then uh, at the third core, I was burned out beforehand.
Oh, wow.
And that was end of 2019. And I
Mm,
just finished my second graphic novel.
mm,
So what I bought to core was
mm.
the work printed or
Yeah.
the whole book, and the workshop was a real reflection on this time.
Mm,
And I remember just being like in a bad way, and I sort of had
mm,
for 3 months.
mm,
And so I was in as bad a place you could be
mm,
to for the beginning of the pandemic. So there was like 2
mm. Oh my
so
God, Pat.
the book came out during the pandemic. So like
Mm,
um I haven't really recovered. So that's
yeah.
so my sort of like I nearly
Mm,
kind of killed myself trying
mm,
to get this book done.
mm,
And then just like I like at that like I had a baby and a 4-year-old.
mm.
Started, oh my god.
That's a lot.
And the book came out in the middle of that, and like got stuck on a boat for 8 months, and
Really? When was that?
and it's like one of those things like this is my second book, The Grot,
Yeah.
which like it really cost me a lot.
Mm,
It was like coming back from the war, like
yeah.
it was like I was just completely depleted, and I'd
Mm,
given everything to this thing, and because I know, and it came out in the pandemic, and I just sort of never really know whether I
mm,
don't know what the book had to do for me or whatever,
yeah.
but whatever it was, it didn't do that.
Yeah.
Um, and then and then my first book went out of print.
Mm.
So like, and then so all this was happening while I'm sitting at home, not being part of any community,
Oh my gosh.
and
Yeah.
so it's just that was just kind of the end.
Yeah.
I can pick the day. It was like January 2021. I was like, all right, me and comics are divorced. We're
Really? Wow.
it's been a really
Yeah.
really like um passionate, like intense
Mm.
like
Yeah.
relationship we had, but we're done. And so
Done. Yeah.
I haven't been to like a comics event since.
Yeah.
I threw out an entire wheelie bin of empty comics. I threw away all my
Really?
stationery that I was waiting to draw some more comics with. And
Really?
yeah, and I actually have drawn comics since then,
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
for mercenary money, and
Yes.
I know
Yeah.
I'm certain that you might have seen one that I was
That
involved
was
in.
an excellent one. Yeah.
Don't say that. No, it wasn't.
I liked it. I
Well,
liked
but Jess.
it.
But like actually, like it when like it does feel to me like
Mm.
a relationship,
Mm.
big love of your life that you've broken
Yeah.
up with. And at first you're sort of bitter and angry and like you feel like
Yeah.
you've been hurt. Um,
Yeah.
and then uh, and then you're just like, I'm really we had some great years together.
Yeah. Yeah.
did. We made two beautiful children.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
one of them's dead now, but that's okay. That's okay. There's
Yes.
one you can see, you can find at the library.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's weird and sad, but I actually don't.
Yeah.
That one of the reasons I do like to talk about this is because nobody ever talks about quitting.
Totally. Yes.
Nobody
Yeah.
nobody talks about like like this thing where
Mm.
the great passions of their life just run their course, and
Yes.
that's actually there's a weird shame
Part
about
of
it,
life.
or
Yeah.
and I actually
Yeah.
think ashamed about it. I'm just melancholy. I'm just melancholy.
Yeah. That's so
Yeah,
interesting. I mean, things don't have to last forever. I think they shouldn't actually. Like everything has,
yeah,
I think things, I don't know, it's funny. Once you're known for one thing, um, like Pat Grant, the comics guy, or whatever it is, Jess Harwood, the activist, like we
yeah,
feel tied to that kind of identity that we have to continue that. And so, yeah, but if it's not bringing joy or fulfillment, or it's like actually damaging you, I think it's very important to let it go.
yeah,
And yeah.
yeah. And maybe comics. I'll be at a bar,
Mm,
two cocktails deep, and comics will swan back into my life like in a noir movie.
that's right.
Like one for old times.
So yeah, that's right. Never say never, but
And there'll
it's,
be a zine. No, I don't know. But
yeah.
oh yeah, anyway, I haven't actually had a chance to tell this story, so that's quite nice.
Yeah, thanks for
Um,
sharing
we,
that.
we might have to reflect upon it on a second episode, because
Yeah.
I've got to go to a meeting with some comics people,
Oh, do you? Oh my gosh.
Italian comic history comics project, but which is like it's like going to see your ex to like
That's right. It's a bit
what the
like that,
quiz,
isn't it?
like
That's right. I thought I wasn't going to see you again. Jeez.
yeah, yeah.
Oh.
uh,
Oh,
anyway,
Pat. Well,
can we?
I'm sad to hear that, but also it's totally normal. And I know this is not comics related, but I relate quite a lot to that with leaving my job as a campaigner because like I've had all sorts of emotions about that because that's what I've been doing for like 15 years now. So,
Was there
but
burnout in that? That's a notoriously
yeah,
burnout associated
a
like
lot of burnout, a lot of, yeah. And I think it probably took me over a year to kind of get over the latest burnout. It was like proper physical sort of stuff. But if it's not serving you anymore, then I'm happy we had that time together, me and activism, and I'll never say never, but it's not for now. That's fine, you know. Um, but yeah, so anyway, thanks for sharing that. I'm sorry to hear about your burnouts. That
we're
sucks.
gonna think of some chirpy positive things to say
Yeah,
after when we meet again for another 20 minutes.
that's right. Yes.
All right, I love you, Jess Harwood. I'll catch you soon.
Catch you soon. Bye. Post post-core and possibly future stuff.
Yes,
Yes.
we've just had a time jump. It is now 3 weeks.
Three,
Ooh,
maybe a month in the
maybe a
future.
month since
We're
our
we're
last chat.
we're wearing different shirts and everything. So, and you're in a shed, I think. Are you?
I'm in the back shed.
Cool. Great shed.
Um, so where we left off,
Yes.
um, I was telling a sad story about my divorce with comics, and then we had to run off to another meeting.
Mm.
And I was uncomfortable with sort of finishing the chat there,
Yeah.
partly because it's a bit of a bit of a sad story and it wasn't reflected upon properly, but also because we didn't talk about your time after core. So that was a big chunk of stuff we wanted to talk about that we missed.
Mm. Yeah,
Um,
that's
yeah.
true.
Have you got any reflections on my divorce to comics?
Well, one thing, I don't know, from my perspective, because I obviously have been going through what you were going through. Like I still, and I think everyone I met at Paper Cuts was like, "Hey, is Pat coming? Where's Pat?" I don't think anyone else feels you're divorced from comics.
Yeah.
So, and everyone at Paper Cuts was like, "How can we get Pat into comics? Like, bring him here, and we want to see him." And I think there's just like a lot of love for you and your work. So I don't think anyone else feels you're divorced from comics. Am I allowed
Yeah,
to make that
yeah, yeah,
observation?
that's so funny. Like I had a sense that people are just like, where the fuck? I haven't seen that guy for a while. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Whereas I'm like, it's over. It's happening. It's like you're having a fight with somebody who doesn't even know.
Who doesn't know that you're having a fight with them? Yeah.
Oh, we've been fighting. Oh, yeah, no, yeah, I had a sense that it was like that. Um, and actually, what I've learned, one of the things I've learned is that like, I think when you're a young, ambitious sort of like artist or athlete or like professional or something, you think that people love you for the practice that you do. You think that like your
Yeah.
self-worth is all bound up in that, and actually like
People love you, Pat.
yeah, yeah, that's kind of like I'm sort of like, oh, actually, no one actually loves me because I make comics at all. Anyway, because I stopped for 5 years
Yeah.
and nobody even noticed.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, totally.
Uh,
It's interesting that you say that because I think I've been reflecting a lot on the community, the comics art community, which you helped to build actually, and everyone who runs a comics festival is also helping to build and keep together. And like I don't think I've ever come across a group of people. It's like it's not even we're the same because we all kind of do comics. That's what brings us together. But everyone is just a beautiful, wonderful, creative, diverse person. And I
mm,
don't think I've come across a community like that that's so welcoming and supportive and fun. And so there is a lot of love between comic
yeah,
artists, and that is so special and unique, I think. And so yeah, that's it's
Campbell
really
said
striking.
something similar. Oh, sorry, I cut you off there.
No, no, no. I was just going to say it's just really striking. Like any other community, I've been involved in a number of different communities, and I think this one is the one, like a community that really feels actually beautiful and supportive. Yeah, and it's not really, it's about comics, but also it's more than that.
Mm.
Mm,
Campbell had a similar report.
mm,
Like I feel like my creative writing friends who I knew before comics, like my people also.
mm,
I know a lot of people who like were kind of in the fine art world or in the illustration
mm,
world or kid picture book kind of world, and they were like, man,
mm.
it's like this weird atmosphere of competition and
Yeah,
like bitterness and like
yeah,
like limited resources and
yeah,
yeah. And I think part of comics is part of the comics community being so supportive is that like there's there's kind of no resources. Like there's
yeah,
like it's not
yeah.
like there's gonna be like I feel like if you're a painter, you're just
Mm,
battling all your life or you're famous and rich.
yeah,
And
yeah, totally.
someone will be famous and rich.
Mm,
Um, yeah, it probably won't be you, and you're
yeah,
pissy about that.
yeah, yes.
Whereas like even if your friends in comics are famous,
Yeah,
they're not rich, and
yeah,
they're still fighting the same fight that everyone is when they're starting their first project.
yeah, yes. Yeah, someone else, Josh actually made that observation as well on the weekend. Um, so like if there were a number of full-time comic graphic novel jobs, I don't know, whatever, then it might be different. And it
Mhm.
would just be, but hopefully, I don't know. It's kind of that weird thing where it would be great to have more opportunities and more resources and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But then would the community change? I don't
I
know.
think I think it might. I think there
Yeah.
would be good and bad.
Yeah.
But that one thing I wanted to reflect on, just like I've been thinking about, like organizing my experience into the story that I told in the last one, and I was and I think like the coda to that story is like when I was working on a graphic novel, I
Mm,
fantasize about what it would be like to be an artist who wasn't working on a graphic novel, like
mm,
who could just like go to their studio and
mm,
tinker with something in private and learn a new thing and not have it be or a strategic block placed
mm,
in service of this big project.
mm,
Um, and
mm.
the last 5 years has really been that for me. Like
Yeah.
I don't have to carve out 2 days a week to get 2 pages of comics drawn. Instead, I just
Yeah.
like I do a little bit of drawing and illustration, and like, and I've also taught. I've just had this wealth of new uh like interests come into my life, and
Mm,
uh, it's been really joyful. And
mm.
so like I think that um like to continue the divorce metaphor, my next my next big relationship is going to be with game design, or
Awesome.
like might get back into writing prose,
Yeah.
um or map making, or something
Cool.
else that's like probably just as ambitious as a graphic novel, but like
Yeah.
different enough that I feel like I'm learning new things and having a new experience.
Yeah.
And
That's
hopefully,
exciting.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm feeling like I've sort of passed through the grief phase, and now I'm feeling really positive about my life as an artist,
Great.
but and happy that I'm an ex
Yeah.
comic book artist. Sort of. Although it won't leave me alone. These
I know.
comics keep
Yep.
calling.
I know exactly. Everyone wants to see you, Pat.
So what's going on with you after core? You
After
went
core.
you rang your Billy, and
Yeah.
tell us about your practice now.
Well, it has changed. Like I was, I guess to continue the relationship metaphor, I was kind of in an open relationship with comics for a while. And I had my main, well, maybe polyamorous, like I had my main relationship with my job, and then I would just dabble on the side. But it kind of got to the stage where um, I don't know, I kind of got a bit burnt out with trying to manage those two things together. And I made the decision recently that I'm going to just focus on comics for a while
Hmm.
and illustration and commissions and, just kind of see where that can go. And, so that's my main relationship currently. I haven't progressed the project I took to core,
Yeah,
partly because it was very caught up. Well, it was very tied up with what I was doing for my work, and I've kind of had a break from that, and I don't feel I have that. I don't have it in me
yeah,
to tell that story. But I've got other stories that I'm especially coming back from Paper Cuts Festival over the weekend and seeing the amazing graphic novels that people are working on and have published recently. I've got some stories in there in me to kind of tell. Particularly this year, I've been doing a DAL fellowship with Eucalypt Australia on doing comics about eucalypt conservation.
oh,
So
cool.
yeah, so I kind of feel like maybe I could dig into that a little bit more and tell some more stories about eucalypts, trees, our general approach to nature.
Hmm.
Some of the cool stories, like particularly, there was the grandmother and grandfather trees of the Jabwurrung people that were cut down a couple of years ago. And
Yep.
some of those, I don't know if that's not my story to tell necessarily, but the story of how people are trying to, well, how people relate to trees in Australia and how they're protecting them. So there's like lots of juice there. So I could probably,
Ooh, so much juice.
so much juice. I could just, yes. So maybe looking at that next year. Um,
I,
but
I
yeah,
would I'd love to be an early reader on that project when you
done.
share it with someone, because
Yes.
I'm like definitely obsessed with trees and forests,
Mm,
and yeah,
yeah.
it sounds amazing. There's not
Yeah.
there's not enough uh like celebration of
Mm,
trees in pop culture, I think. And there's a lot
yeah.
of celebration of cats.
Yes. Oh my God, so much cats.
Can we do for trees what the internet did for cats?
Yes, I think we need that. I think it's like one thing I really want to push back on is this. I don't know. I love trees. I
Mm,
absolutely love trees, and if they make me feel good. I think they're beautiful. I think a lot of people think they're very passive, and they're kind of like cats are like doing shit, and so the people are into
yeah.
that. But trees are kind of like they're in the background, just keeping us alive and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think I'm interested in like making make reframing our relationship with trees. It's actually pretty radical and it's like really
Mm.
interactive and it's really energetic and there's a lot going on there. And kind of pushing back on that idea that if you care about nature, it's like you just care about these static things that are out there in the world. And it's like, no, it's like it's everywhere. It's all, I don't know. Something about that would be kind of exciting to me.
Yes, I'm in.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes. So that's the idea.
I guess I'm curious how, is it hard to balance doing a big project and being a freelancer at the same time? Because
Yes.
that's always that's one of the unsolved puzzles in
Yeah.
my practice, and I've noticed in other people's practice.
Yeah.
You know
And
who's
everyone, I think.
yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Sarah Firth, they got the secret sauce.
yes.
I'd love to know. I'd love to figure out like
She
what.
she's amazing. I don't know. I'm actually in the process of just trying to work that out. And it's very hard. I'm not good at pacing things out or, you know, I just say yes to lots of things and then I'm kind of like, oh shit, I've got lots of things. And then, I don't actually have a way of doing that yet. Maybe nobody does except Sarah. That could be.
Yeah. If you poke around, some people have their like they've figured out something that works. Like
Mm,
I remember I was amazed when I went to Campbell's house for PCAF Cup 2 or 3 years in a row,
mm,
and like he just gets up at like 4 or 5 a.m. and
wow,
shuffles to his studio silently, sits down, puts some music on, and just works until someone needs him. And
amazing.
and so like all of that stuff he's achieved has generally
Mm,
happened prior to 7 a.m.
wow.
every single day, and that yeah,
Yeah. Being
and
organized, having a routine. I think
yeah,
all those
yeah,
things
and
like,
a big project just needs like so much persistence and consistency,
mm,
and finding a way to structure your life so that you can do that little bit every week and
mm,
make things carry on.
yeah. And also really knowing yourself. I think that's, knowing what you need.
Mm,
Like, sorry to bring up Sarah again. Sarah, hi, we love you. One of the big things I think I've taken from Sarah is, she has her weightlifting practice and I didn't have really a routine for a lot of my life, and I'm just realizing now, actually, you do actually have to think about what your body needs.
mm,
It's like
mm,
this is so basic, but here I am in my 30s just working this out.
mm,
And so yeah, going for a run and then working at a time when your body's awake, if that's 4
mm.
a.m., go for it. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. This is an ongoing project for me. I'm still don't quite know all of the things that I need. Um, but hey, I did go for a run at 7 a.m. this morning, so
Yeah.
little humble brag, not humble brag, little brag there. Like I'm trying, I'm trying to get back into having a routine, so
Like
everything kind of works and flows.
this is why I think the graphic novel is the impossible artifact, literary
Yes.
artifact, because it's like it's not just spend 10 or 15 years learning how to do
Yeah. Yes.
and then okay, now manufacture a life
Yeah.
that will allow you to do that.
Yeah. That's right.
Both of those things are outrageous. And then stick at it for 5 years or 10 years,
Yeah.
whatever that takes. And it's like as a reader now, of of a graphic novel, I like, for me it's like a marvelous
Mm.
miracle. Every one of them.
Yeah.
Every time I'm just like, I
Yeah.
cannot believe that this exists, and
Yeah.
that's what I think is valuable about the art form. I just the miracle that each one exists, and I don't think that it's
It
gonna.
is a miracle. Yeah.
I don't think that it's ever gonna be like in like a main like it's gonna have its ups and downs, but it's never gonna be
Mm.
like a novel, which is like this or cinema. It's always gonna be this weird, this
Mm.
like a weird miracle that appears every few years. And you'll say,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. That's what makes it so special. It's like Josh actually reminded me over the weekend that like I've been on a real learning curve with how much goes into a graphic novel. Because when I applied for core, I think I said something to Josh like, oh yeah, I could probably get it done in like 6 months to a year. I can just bash it out. And like, boy, have I learnt from then.
Everyone's a bit like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, oh yeah, yeah. We'll see how that goes.
and yet that optimism is another essential ingredient, right? To
Yeah.
the big project, like
Yes.
like like anything under 30 pages, you can kind of just like it can be an impulsive sort of splurge of activity that
Mm,
like a cuisine or a short story, but
mm,
you need some out like ridiculous naivety slash optimism
mm.
slash
Yeah.
self delusion to ever
Delusion. Yeah.
set yourself on that path.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what
Uh,
I'm currently doing. I'm just deluding myself that I can next year begin a project that'll probably take 5 years or something like that.
mm.
And yeah. But it's like it is worth it. It's amazing, when you see people and what they've produced. It is, as you say, it's a miracle. And you know, that is just the most amazing thing, I think, to see something come to life like that. I really want to try and do that if I can.
Yeah, I think a big project is a good way to structure like a chapter of your life, and when you
Yeah.
think about it like that, it's like like
Yeah.
it's not. I'm not doing this to become some big.
Mm.
I'm not doing this to like so that people love me or so that I can make money.
Yeah.
I'm, I'm doing this because it's an organizing principle for
Yeah.
my life for the next chapter, and
Yeah.
yeah, and and
Yeah.
and it is really nice reflecting on that. Like both of my books, I think back a bit on them, and there's like like I can picture the places that I inhabited and the people
Mm.
and the ideas that I was pulling apart as part of the books. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, it's a good it's a good thing, a big project.
Mm. That's a really good steer, I think. It's like what do you want the next chapter of your life to be?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I think I want to draw trees for a long time, so I think
well,
I'll do that.
you and Claudia Akole and I should get together and have a like
Let's do it.
Gumtree drawing like thing, because
Yeah.
it's it's a lesser known speciality of hers.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah,
Did she?
yeah.
I didn't know that.
She draws a good gum tree.
Oh my God.
Um,
Okay, I've got to.
in my opinion, my
Yeah.
favorite one of hers is like a Tangara train running through the gum trees.
Oh, that's cool.
Uh, yeah, I love a gum tree too.
Let's do it. I actually, I do think us in Sydney, we could get together a bit more and like have a little drawing sesh every now and again in a pub. That would be kind of cool.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Actually, I'll be down your way sometime in the next couple of months to go to a Irish music session. Sorry, I know this is being recorded and it
Is it for the folk festival?
No, it's there's a group called Leisure Tunes. I can't remember where it is, but I might have told you about it. But it's every like fortnight on a Thursday or something.
Oh, cool.
And everyone just brings their instruments to this pub somewhere north of Wollongong. I can't remember where. I will get more details and I'll let you know, but
Fun.
it's fun.
All right.
Hey, Pat, I might have to jump off because I've got another call, but
All right. Thanks for the chat. I
thanks
love you,
for the chat.
audience. I love you,
Yeah.
comments. No, I
And I
don't.
hope to,
What?
let's have a beer soon. Let's have a
Yeah.
beer.
Okay. See ya.
Okay. Take care. Bye.